Hi, I'm Peter Kalmstrom of kalmstrom.com Business Solutions. In this demonstration, I'll show you how to install Calendar Browser using a PowerShell script, and I'm going to show you that on SharePoint Online. To do that, you need to have some prerequisites installed already. That's Visual Studio Code and PowerShell version 7. And if you don't have that installed, it's going to not work. You also need to register an entry ID app for interactive login. That's outside the scope of this demo, so it's quite a lot of that's outside the scope, but I have other demos on how to do that, so please refer to those demos. Moving on, so now I've downloaded the zip file and extracted it, and here is the PS installer. I'm just going to open that now with Visual Studio Code. And here I'm going to make some changes. First of all, we're going to trust this code. Yes, it's trusted code. Good. Then I'm going to change it here to SP version. It's going to be online. And then there's already my interactive Entra client ID that's in there, so that's done. And then the next change that you need to do is make sure that you add the sites that you want to install it in. And I've prepared a little bit here. So the CB demo 6 should go in there. Right. And then we have the CB demo 5. So that's the sites that we're going to install on. Make sure that you copy just the actual site URL, not the page URL or something like that. So there you're adding the second one also, or making sure that the row is not commented out. So now I have 2 sites in my sites collection there. And that's it. That's all the changes I need to do. And of course I need to make sure that I actually spell online correctly. There we go. The online, the SP version, the client ID needs to be correct. And of course adding the sites. So now that once that's done, I can just run the script. And now it's going to first check that PNP PowerShell is loaded and installed. And then you're going to get the login screen here. I'm logging in and closing that. And now it's enabling scripting on both the sites. It's connecting to them, making sure site assets exists, and adding the calendar files, and all the steps that are needed for installing Calendar Browser. So we can go to CB demo 6 here and just check what's going on here. Now in site contents here, notice that in site assets now there are indeed 2 files that were just added a few seconds ago. So if I go into cb.aspx there, it loads as it should, and then I can just go into settings, or I can just create the example data right away, and it starts creating my data. So meanwhile, back in the script here, you notice that it's done the same with CB demo 5, and it's done. So that should be it. We can just check CB demo also, number 5 here, site assets. There are the files that we just created, so all should be done there. Yeah, it's now creating this. We can just stop that. I mean, if we just want a little bit of example data, then we'll just refresh this while it's creating that, and you'll notice that I have just a few calendars with no data in them, but you can see that it worked. The script worked. Let's go back to the script and actually explain what it did here. First of all, it set some regular error handling, that if something goes wrong, then it should stop right away. Checking the current path, installing the module, checking if this is the online version or the on-premise version, stuff like that. And then we're connecting to the sites using the interactive and the client ID here. And then we're making sure that the site assets exists, and then adding the files, and also adding a custom action link to the site settings and a JavaScript link. And that's it. So that's how you install Calendar Browser using the PowerShell script in SharePoint Online. Thank you for watching this demonstration.